is day 8 of your STAAR review, and we will be discussing both volume and composite volume. However, in this video, we will only be discussing volume. Now, first and foremost, let's go ahead and check out where this goes in your folder. Now, you should have already glued this, but just a reminder, you're opening this up to page 7, and this one's going to be going right next to formulating equations and inequalities. So, we're going to first talk about volume. So we're going to open up this flap, and here it's telling you that we're first going to find the volume of a rectangular prism. So let's go ahead and check that out. So it says find the volume of the enclosed cargo space of the truck. So first I need to know the formula for volume of a rectangular prism. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my formula chart. I'm going down to volume, and here it tells me the formula for volume of a prism is V equals big B times little h. Now, I'm going to go ahead and write down that formula. V equals big B times little h. Now remember, big B stands for the area of your base, so area of base, and h stands for the height of your prism. So this is the distance between both of your bases. So on this rectangular prism, remember the bottom is always your base. So this would be my base here. However, we can go ahead and also look at the top because this is where our dimensions are. So the shape of my base here is going to be a rectangle. So how do I find the area of a rectangle? So the area of a rectangle can be found by either doing base times height or length times width. Now, I typically like to have you do length times width whenever you are dealing with volume because here you also have the height of your prism. So I don't want you to put the height of your prism twice. So this becomes length times width times your height. So the length of my prism is 15. The width of my prism is 7.5. Now the height of our prism is, again, 7.5. So now we're going to go ahead and open up our calculator. And once we open up our calculator, we're going to put 15 times 7.5 times 7.5. So I'm going to go ahead and press the on button, open up a calculator. 15 times 7.5 times 7.5. And here I get 843.75. So here, the volume is going to be 843.75, and my unit is feet. And since we're dealing with volume, this is cubed, 843.75 feet cubed. So looking at your foldable, this is everything you should have written down for the rectangular prism for number 1. So I went ahead and put my formula and what they mean, and then up top, I went ahead and showed all my work. So now I'm going to go ahead and flip this up, and the next type of shape we're going to look at is a cone. So I'm going to go to my next shape, which is a cone, and it says given a traffic cone, it has a base diameter of 12 inches and a height of 28 inches. What is the closest volume of the cone? So here I'm going to go ahead and draw my cone out so it will help us a bit. So there's my cone. I have its vertex, the peak, and I'm going to go ahead and go down. Now here it tells me I have a diameter of 12 inches. Now remember, your diameter goes all the way across. So all the way across is 12 inches. And the height of my cone is 28 inches. So that is, the height is going to be from the peak of your cone to the center of your base. So this is 28 inches. So, to find the volume of a cone, I'm going to go ahead and open up my formula chart. I go down to volume, and it tells me that the formula is V equals 1/3 times big B times little h. So, V equals 1/3 times B times h. Now remember, B stands for the area of your base. Now, here for B, your base shape is a circle. Now I need to find the area of that circle. The formula for area of a circle is pi times r squared. So B is pi times r squared. Now if you remember, your diameter is 12. So I need to find my radius. So half half of your diameter is your radius. So if my diameter is 12, that means my radius is 6. So here I have pi times 6 squared. So opening up your calculator, we have pi times 6, and then squared is right here next to the 4. Pi times 6 squared, we get 113.097. We're going to go ahead and round that to 113.1. So here I have 1/3 times the area of my base, which was 113.1, times the height of my cone, which is 28. So I'm going to go ahead and put all of this into my calculator. So I'm going to have control divide, 1 on top, 3 on the bottom. I want to multiply this by 113.1, and again I want to multiply that by 28. So here we get 1055.6. And this is going to be inches, and since we're talking about volume, this is cubed. Now again, we're going to pick the closest one because it just depended on how we rounded, and that means that C here is going to be my answer. Now going ahead and looking at your foldable, this is everything you should have written down for finding the volume of a cone. So I drew my shape out, I have my formula, I have how I found the area of my base, and then I just substituted my numbers, and this is how I got my answer. So next we're going to go ahead and fold this up, and we're going to look at cylinders. So we're going to look at how to find the volume of a cylinder. So number 3, a cylindrical paint can has dimensions as shown below. What is the closest volume of the paint can in cubic centimeters? So my first step is to find the volume of my cylinder. So let's go over to our formula chart, and we're going to go down to volume of a cylinder, and we see that the formula is V equals big B times little h. So I'm going to go ahead and put V equals big B times little h. Now remember, big B stands for the area of your base. Now on a cylinder, your base is going to be a circle. So my first step is to find the area of that circle. Now going back to your formula chart, we see that the formula for area of a circle is pi times r squared. So pi times r squared. So what is my radius here? I see here that they have given me my diameter. I know this is my diameter because this line goes all the way across. Now again, to find my my radius, I'm going to divide my diameter by 2. So here I have 16.5. I want to go ahead and divide that by 2, and I get that my diameter is 8.25. So my radius is 8.25. So I can go ahead and plug this in. So I have pi times 8.25 squared, because this is my radius. And let's see what the area of our base is. So I have pi times 8.25 squared. Enter. We get 213.825. So here the area of our base is going to be 213. We're going to round this to 8. 213.8. Now I want to multiply this by the height of my prism, which is going to be 19. So 13.8 times 19. We get 4,062.2. Now again, depending on how you round it, this is going to affect your answer. It shouldn't affect it by much. In my instance, it affected it by about 0.5. So my unit was centimeters, and again, since we're finding volume, the unit is cubed. So going to our answer choices, the one that is closest is going to be G. So now going ahead and looking at your foldable, this is everything you should have written down for finding the volume of a cylinder. So now going ahead, we're going to go ahead and find the volume of a sphere. Now, spheres are the easiest one to solve because the only thing you need to know is your radius. So let's go to that next one and let's check it out. So it says, if a basketball has a diameter as shown below, what is the closest volume of the ball in cubic inches? So if I go to my formula chart here, I see that the formula for volume of a sphere is V equals 4 over 3 times pi r cubed. So I'm going to go ahead and write that. V equals 4 over 3 times pi times r cubed. Now, what a lot of students mess up on is they continue to square this. You need to make sure that you are cubing it. So again, cubing means to go to the third power. So I need to find my radius. The only thing I need to know is my radius. So here they give me my diameter. I know this is my diameter because it goes all the way across. So if my diameter is 9.4, in order to find my radius, I have to divide my diameter by 2. So 9.4 divided by 2, I get 4.7. So my radius is 4.7. I'm going to go ahead and plug this into my formula. So I have 4 over 3 times pi times 4.7 to the power of 3. So let's go ahead and plug this in. So we're going to have control divide, 4 on top, 3 on the bottom. I want to multiply this by pi. And I want to multiply that by my radius, which is 4.7, and I want to raise this to the 3rd power. So pressing enter here, we find that our volume here is 434.893. So this is going to round to 434.9. So 434.9. My unit is inches, and again, we're talking about volume, so this is cubed. Now, the only one that matches or is anything close to that is going to be B. So now taking a look at your foldable, this is everything you should have written down for finding the volume of a sphere. Now we're going to go ahead and fold up, and we're going to find the volume of half 3D shapes. So we're going to look at a hemisphere, and we're going to look at finding the volume in half a cylinder. So let's go ahead and look at number 5. So it says find the volume of a half sphere. Now there is no special formula for finding the volume of a hemisphere. Your steps are going to be to find the volume of a sphere and then divide it by 2. So again, I need the formula for volume of a sphere. And the formula for volume of a sphere is 4 over 3 times pi r cubed. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. 4 over 3 times pi times r cubed. So I just need my radius for this. Luckily for us, they give me my radius. My radius is going to be 13.4. So this is 4 over 3 times pi times 13.4 to the power of 3. So opening up my calculator, I'm going to type in control divide. I have 4 on top, 3 on the bottom. I am multiplying this by pi. And I am multiplying pi by 13.4 to the power of 3. Pressing enter, I find that the volume, if this were a sphere, is 10,078.7. However, this is a half a sphere, so I'm going to divide that number by 2. So in our calculator, we're going to take 10,078.7, divide that by 2, and now we have found that the volume of this hemisphere is 5,039.35. So here, this is going to round to 5,039.4 inches cubed. So this is my answer. So going ahead and taking a look at our foldable now, this is everything you should have written down for number 5. Now lastly, we're taking a look at number 6. So it's to find the volume of the water in the water tank. So again, there's no special formula for this. We're going to find the volume of a cylinder. Just divide that by 2. So I need to know the formula for a cylinder. So the formula for a cylinder is V equals big B times little h. So unfortunately, I forgot to put this in the Google slide at the time of making this. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up on our foldable. So we have V equals big B times little h. Again, that big B stands for the area of your base. Here on the cylinder, your base is a circle. Therefore, I'm finding the area of a circle. Now, what's the formula for area of a circle? It's pi times r squared. Again, we're getting that right here. So, going back to our dot cam, pi times r squared. Now, what's my radius here? So here I see that this goes up 4. So my radius is going to be 4. So I have pi times 4 squared. Let's go ahead and open up our calculator. So we have pi times 4 to the power of 2, 4 squared. And we get 50.2655. We're going to round that to 50.3. So the area of my base is 50.3. This is going to get substituted in for B. So I have 50.3 times the height of my cylinder, which is the distance between my circles. That number is going to be 12. So I have 50.3 times 12. And we get 603.6. However, remember that this tank is only half full. So I have to divide this number by 2. So I'm going to take 603.6. I'm going to divide that number by 2. And the amount of water in this tank is 301.8. And this is, my unit is feet cubed. Okay, so that's everything you should have written down for number 6. So that was your foldable on volume. Make sure you watch the next video where we will be discussing composite volume. So for now, go ahead and make sure your foldables complete, and then get ready for composite volume so you can complete your assignment for today.